What's good? 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 Zay back in the building, back with another video for y'all, man. Today we are going to be reacting to Playback. Now, this is a channel that I've watched in the past. I had to gather my thoughts that I watched in the past. But I don't know. I think they just stopped making videos, but Playback is two dudes. I think they both in A&P. But I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know why they stopped making videos. I really don't know. But yeah, they made a lot of YouTube videos, and they were actually pretty decent. They were pretty good. I think it was like a reaction channel too. But we're gonna get into seeing why they stopped. But if you know who they are, then you know. If you don't, then I'm pretty sure the dude that's narrating the video will explain who they are.
YouTube channel featuring the duo of Agent 00 and Legend of Winning, aka Low. These two will post commentary videos on a variety of subjects, from TikTok degenerates to any crazy thing happening in the streaming/internet community. They were pretty consistent as far as producing content, but as time went on, they suddenly stopped uploading. So what exactly happened? Well, I'm here to give you as close to an answer as you can possibly get. Let's get into it. The history of Agent and Low's friendship goes back to a little bit before Agent's early YouTube days, specifically around 2013-2014. Agent was on a podcast called the AO Podcast, which is a crazy name by the way, where they would stream from Skype to YouTube. Low started off as a graphic designer until Agent eventually brought him on as a guest one day, and the rest is history.
Hey, so I remember we was doing an AO podcast. It was like me, Waffle Man. There was a few other people I'm blanking. I don't remember because we rotated so many groups of people, and so on this old podcast we used to have guests on the show. I remember on one of the podcasts, I was like, yo, we're looking for a guest, but then I don't really know many people, so I was relying on like the people watching to be the guests. Earlier than that, bro, it was like 2014, 13.
Yeah, probably, you're probably right. Probably
so anyway, this podcast is going on. I see a tweet, and keep in mind, my Twitter was slow as shit, so if you sent me a tweet that day, I would see it for sure. And Lowe sent me, I forgot what it was, but it was like this AO podcast with like, it had like a giraffe graphic or something like that.
It was a thumbnail.
Okay, and it was creative. It was the most creative thing I seen in a minute. And so I was like, oh snap. So then I clicked on your page, and I think you had some videos live on your channel, just some you did like way back.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, so this guy kind of knows what he's talking about, and he's not like, we're not gonna have him on the podcast, he can have nothing to contribute, right?
Yeah.
So then you were guesting the podcast, and then back then I had no human skills, so no cap. I told I remember telling Waffleman and then this dude, I was like, I don't know how to tell this guy that he's not gonna come on for another podcast, but we already added you to the Skype chat, so we couldn't then get rid of you.
Facts.
So
I'm thinking Black Vegas, right here in Atlanta.
I see Atlanta. That's Black.
Facts.
So we just kind of kept you for another podcast, and then nobody wanted to tell you to go away, and you were kind of just coming back. So we were just like, every night we would be on Skype chats talking shit about 2K or talking about videos. And there was like maybe 4 or 5 of us.
Though the two had separate channels, they would collaborate from time to time, with Low having cameos on Agent's 2K videos. In late January 2020, Agent and Low would upload the first episode of the Peer-to-Peer podcast, which I'll refer to as Peer-to-Peer for short.
So Low was never an A&P. Agent just brought him around because Agent knew of him as a graphic designer and needed somebody for his podcast. Damn, that's wild. See, man, it's who you know. I say it all the time. It's who you know, not what you know. I don't care how much money you make, how much you know this, how much you know that. It's who you know. It's who you know.
Their third attempt at starting a podcast, according to Agent.
We're starting a new podcast. For those of you guys who have been following us for a while, you know we had a podcast last year. And then if you've been following us for a very long time, you know we had a podcast like 4 years ago. It's our annual ritual where we stop a podcast and start a new one. So we had like an odd launch for it. We dropped a couple episodes on all the other platforms, but we didn't drop them on YouTube. And so this is going to be a YouTube exclusive. So you're not going to be able to see this on any other platform. guys.
And this podcast was actually solid, discussing all types of current events, and they even invited notable guests on there from the likes of every member of AMP, Tia Rage, Sneeko, and even Gideon. Peer-to-Peer was loved for many reasons, and I can honestly say that even though I didn't tune into every single podcast episode, I think the podcast was very well produced for the most part. Now, around the same time that Peer-to-Peer was hitting its stride, Agent and Low launched the Playback channel. Like I said earlier, the premise of the channel
I watched Playback, and Playback was a good channel. The stuff that they was reacting to, and then they had funny, takes on stuff, and they was really never disrespectful with anything they were saying, and it was consistent. So, like I said, I don't know exactly why it went away, but Playback, that was the shit.
Was basically reacting to anything interesting they came across, hence the name of the channel, Playback. The original idea for the channel was to stand out a bit, mixing IRL or competitive videos with normal reactions. This direction was scrapped and they just opted to do reactions. Now these reactions were really entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. I will watch these when I'm eating, when I'm just sitting there chilling, editing a video or something. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, they came through for me. That's really saying a lot because I really don't watch any content that's not somewhat thought-provoking or entertaining. As a direct result of the success of AMP and Peer-to-Peer, Playback grew to over 500,000 subscribers, posting consistently. And this is where things started to change. In December of 2022, Low would get exposed by his ex on Twitter for cheating on her 4 times with 4 different women, which he admitted to in a tweet of his own. I wasn't too hip to the situation at the time. All I kept seeing was memes of Low at Kroger, and people saying that he went 4 for 4 comparing it to Jordan going 6 for 6 in the finals. Niggas even called him Legend of Kroger, bro. Like, these were wild times. A lot of people roasted Low for a while, and even to this day, but let's be real. Niggas really don't care about a content creator they watch cheating on their woman. Now, obviously, if it was a woman doing what Low did, the opinion would be different. A few weeks after this situation on January 6, 2023, Agent and Low would announce the end of Peer-to-Peer after 258 episodes. In this last episode, while they're saying their goodbyes, Low takes the time to address the cheating situation.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, my now ex put out a tweet kind of highlighting and exposing me as a cheater. And I'm here now to tell the rest of the world that yes, I am. I cheated, man. I cheated. I am a cheater. I don't agree with it. My stance on cheating still hasn't changed. I think cheating is bad. That's not changing. I just believe I made bad decisions. That's it.
4 times?
That's all it is. 4 times, yeah.
It was 4 times?
4 times.
The same girl or different girls?
Different girls, different women. It was not a Kroger associate, but I don't really think any of that really matters. People also ask me why I cheated. That also doesn't really matter at all because it's just bad decisions. It's not the right thing to do, and so I don't want people to think that like there's a way to justify it or anything like that. The whole
Man, that's wild, bro. 4 times. I mean, she took you back 3 times, and then the 4th time she was like, "All right, I'm done. Now I gotta air you out on Twitter. You're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked." That's wild, bro. That's sad, bro. But why y'all stop Playback though?
argument of like, how can you criticize people? Everybody in this community, everybody makes mistakes. I don't want to be pegged as a perfect person. Like, I just don't want to be. I don't want, if you're trying to pedestalize me to be a perfect person.
See, that's what everybody say when they start cheating, man. I don't want to be a perfect person, you know. Everybody cheats sometimes. I don't want to be perfect. Just because you don't cheat, that don't mean you a perfect person. Like, I've never cheated on a shorty, cause that's just how big loyalty is to me. I feel like if you cheat on somebody, you willing to stab somebody in their back. And I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that. So, yeah.
And please stop, like, right now. And the reason why to stop that as well is because it comes along with the criticism. Because if that's the case, like, I personally, trust me, I really don't care nor mind the critiques that come in my comment section and replies all the time. I don't mind it. And the reason why I don't is because I know that comes along with being a person, and that comes along with mistakes. So people are going to criticize me. So that's also fine as well. Bro, we all make bad mistakes. We all human. We all understand what's what's right and wrong. It's not really about you making the mistakes or making the bad decisions. It's you trying to grow and bounce back from those bad decisions that you made.
As for why peer-to-peer ended, Agent speaks on it on stream a short time after, citing him and everyone involved prioritizing other things in life, like Agent working on AMP's videos on top of growing his own brand.
At the end of the day, I just couldn't handle all the priorities on my plate. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's not just the podcast, even in my personal life. Like, there's times where my mom can't even get a hold of me, and I feel bad. Once you take a step back from content, it hits you like there's so many other things that matter, and sometimes you can't forget about those things because they're also really important. At the end of the day, those are the most important things. At the end of the day, the podcast was fun to do. It's just on the list of priorities, I wasn't giving it the attention it deserved, nor was anybody else. Everybody had a priority that was more important than peer-to-peer, and you can tell by the way we were executing, because even if you enjoyed the podcast, I'm sure you've seen podcasts where you're like, damn, how the f did they let this slip? So I never had any intention for the pod to end, but we tried to grow it as much as we could. But in all reality, any time I spent on the podcast was time I wasn't spending on AMP. And AMP is demanding. It's time I wasn't spending on stream. The stream is demanding. It was time I wasn't spending on many other things I could have been spending my time on. And it just felt like I was half-assing something that deserved serious attention. And I know, even though the podcast did good, it couldn't have done great had any one of us been able to give it that attention.
I know a lot of y'all probably asking, what does Low cheating have to do with Playback not uploading? Nothing crazy, but to fans of the channel, this scandal made them see Low as hypocritical. Low's opinions on relationships and women came across as someone who's big on loyalty and bashes promiscuity. He even said on video that he didn't think he could cheat on the woman that he's with, so I can understand where a lot of these fans are coming from.
I don't think I could do that because, like, you legitimately took advantage of me being genuine, like you just said.
Yeah.
Like, I was genuine, I trusted you, and you just took advantage of that to participate in a whole nother relationship. No, I couldn't do that.
Another theory that I saw that I want to sort of debunk is about Agent distancing himself because Low cheated. This is really far-fetched because the two seem cool after the fact, continuing to make videos until the beginning of this year before going radio silent. I think this is a case of two friends who once collaborated all the time just going to do their own thing. Low runs 2 channels of his own on top of hosting events on an app called Playback, while Agent is still in AMP producing content on top of streaming and keeping up with his own reaction channel. Playback was good for what it was, and if it is the end, I hope they return sometime in the future for one last run. But let me know what you guys think about this entire.
Okay. I mean, that's understandable. That's kind of what I was thinking too, though. Like maybe they just got, I don't know, they got a lot on their plate. Like when you in a content household, like AMP, there's a lot of time spent with the people that's in that household. There's a lot of time that's spent strictly on content. Like when you like a content creator, it's hard to make time for other shit. Like it really is. Like I don't really like to put myself in the content creator role because I'm not really like, receiving anything from it. You know what I mean? So I think once I start receiving stuff from it, then I could say I'm a content creator. But like right now, it's like I just make content. I don't really think I could really tell myself I'm a content creator right now, because I have to see benefits from it for it to be valid, in my opinion. I feel like you can't say you really this or that until you actually really live in that. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, yeah, like content creating, it's a lot. Like you have first, like for example, I have YouTube, I have Twitch, I have TikTok. Those are 3 platforms. I didn't even get to Instagram. I didn't even get to Facebook. I didn't even get to Snapchat. I didn't even get to Twitter. Those are all platforms where you can engage with people, fans, friends, family, other content creators, and you can use that in your content however you want to use it. And that's a lot. And that takes time from talking to family. That takes time from being in a relationship. That takes time from hanging out with friends. Like doing content takes time from you doing a lot of stuff. And yeah, it's an easy thing to do. And yeah, you can fast track it. There's ways you can fast track, to make more time. But it's just hard. It's hard to really, you know, make time with family and do other things that's actually meaningful in life. So I think that's probably why they did it too. And when you have multiple channels, like especially on YouTube, like even that trying to manage that is hard. Like, cause you've been doing this for years and years and years. So people gonna continue to want that for years and years and years and years. And you gotta pay your bills, and you know you moving into houses, you buying all these cars, you going to travel to these countries and the different states, and you meeting all the content creators, and you're collabing. Like, it's so much that goes into this. Like, I think people that don't do it, they won't get it, and I understand if you won't get it. I still don't get it. And I just make content. I don't even consider myself a content creator. So, um, yeah, it's a lot. So for them to just go away from Playback, it's understandable. I just wanted to know why, but I guess we'll never know. We just had to make assumptions. So, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. We back in the building. Y'all know the vibes. We going up each and every day. Thank God for another day. Stay blessed, stay positive. I'm out, man.
Energy.